Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to class. Going to continue to let people in that are coming in, and then we'll take attendance in just a minute. When I call your name for attendance, please say here if you're here. Alicia. Orestine.
Here.
Aaliyah.
Here.
Colton.
Here.
Jeffrey. Jeffrey here. Cassie. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Cassie. Brianna.
Here.
Aixa.
Here.
Juan Carlos. Okay, Jamez. Sergio.
Here.
Alexis.
Here.
Carlos. Renato. Micaiah. Jesus. Brandon.
Here.
Lincoln. Nazari. Alonzo.
Here.
Vanessa.
Here.
Juliana.
Here.
Harmony. And Edwin.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, so this is how I have absent. Juan Piero, Jamez Peppers, Carlos Ramos Constanza, Renato, Micaiah, Jesus, Nazari, and that's it. Are any of those people here?
I'm here.
Who was I'm here? Jesus?
Yeah, me.
I'm sorry. Anybody else? Okay. So welcome to class. I'm not going to keep you very long today. Today is going to be, well, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to talk very long today. I'm going to kind of give you guys a day to practice what we did yesterday. But before we do that, we're going to start with our bell ringer like we will every single day. Your bell ringer today is, what is one thing you want Miss England to know about you? Go to your Gmail account and send me an email that has one thing, or two if you want, that you want me to know about you that you feel like is important for me as your teacher and as someone who cares about you to know. When you have finished sending that email, type done in our Zoom chat. Micaiah, we are currently doing the bell ringer. So you need to email me one thing you want me to know about you, and then let me know in the Zoom chat when you've finished. Thank you for those who are telling me that you're done. Just gonna wait a couple minutes for our classmates to catch up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those who are finished. Just hold off. Just a reminder while you're sending me that email that our class 6th period starts at 2:25, not 2:30. So try to get here at 2:25. Just so you don't miss the first few minutes of class. Just take about 2 more minutes if you're emailing me, finish it up. Okay, if you haven't finished, just make sure you send that to me by the end of class. Not a big deal. Thank you for participating in our bell ringers and getting them done quickly. So just like yesterday, we did our bell ringer. We're going to focus on our short little today in our world, and then you're going to continue to read and annotate Everyday Use by Alice Walker. One thing I want to remind you is that virtual school is Monday through Thursday, but you guys are now face-to-face, even though we're doing remote learning right now. So you do have school tomorrow. You will have a Zoom at the same time. So at 2:25, you will have my Zoom. Don't forget, please don't skip class because you're used to having a Friday off if you weren't virtual before this semester. Okay, so for our today in our world, I had something different, and then something monumental happened in the United States yesterday. What I want you to do is tell me in your own words in the chat what happened yesterday in the United States that is going to probably make history. In the chat. And if you don't know, then that's okay too. But I know some of you probably know. Yes, Alexis. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So yesterday, January 6th, is always the day that after a presidential election, Congress gathers together in the Capitol to either verify, which means say, yes, this is the new president, which usually happens every single year, and we move on and they begin the transition of the presidents, or they gather and they object and they go about a way to figure it out, which has never happened before. So yesterday there was a meeting at the Capitol, and there were protesters, rioters, terrorists, insurgents, whatever you want to call them. There have been 4 different words floating around for them depending on opinions of what happened. So there were people who came to the Capitol and broke in, and senators and the people of the House and the Congress had to hide in bunkers because technically it was an act of domestic terrorist on American soil. So all of you who said people who support Trump crashed the Capitol, people breached Capitol Hill to destroy electoral college ballots, Trump supporters were trying to get into the White House, a bunch of people broke into Congress, all of that is true. So now my question for you, and the reason, let me start with this. The reason we're talking about this is just because, like I told you yesterday, yes, it's important for you to know how to annotate a story, but it's also important as a middle schooler that you begin to form your own opinions about the world around you, and that you're able to have respectable open conversations about things that are usually heated. It's important. That's really, really important. So what I want to know now is I want you to send me in the chat, what do you think about what happened yesterday? Not what happened or why it happened, but what do you think about it based on what you feel? When you saw the news or when you saw it on TikTok or when you saw it or heard about it on the radio, what did you think about it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to read out anonymously people's submissions. So I won't say, oh, Micaiah said this, but I'll read whoever sent. Okay, someone said, I think it's wrong. What do you think? Someone says it was not the right thing to do. And let me be clear, if you have a differing opinion, that is okay. We can be in a common ground and we can respect each other while having different opinions. Someone says, I believe that people who did that are crazy and childish because they can't accept a loss. Someone says, I think everyone there has their own opinion, but it should never get that far to the point that someone dies. Good point. I thought about it as crazy and scary. It was scary even though I wasn't there. I think it was stupid because all of those people have known that he lost in the first place and it was wrong to break in the Capitol. Someone says they should go to jail. Someone else says it was embarrassing. Okay. So I'm missing a few responses. What do you think about it? This is bad because people died and it could have caused many more deaths. It's stupid. I don't really get why people are doing this. I don't really like politics, but that should have never happened. Trump supporters have done a lot of stuff like this, but this was taking it way too far. Okay, so I don't ask you these questions to make you think, oh, maybe okay, let me read this one more. I think that the Trump supporters are trying to send a message. However, it would have been better to protest rather than violence. And I fear how it may project that Trump was the cause of it when he maybe wasn't really involved in it. Okay, so we can all agree that violence is never the answer, correct? We can also all agree that protesting is a right that we have as Americans. It's written in our Constitution. I'm going to read a few more. I feel like it was wrong and that some people who attacked the Capitol should have thought of the consequences, just like the BLM movement. Someone died for their equality. But for the people that attacked, for the people that attacked the Capitol, someone died as well. And yet they still broke in. I think the people that broke in are dumb because not only did they mess up the Capitol, but it also threw more shade at Trump. I think it's dumb because the police weren't doing anything about it and not stopping them from getting in. Okay, all of these are valid thoughts and they're your opinion, which you have formed on your own based on 1, how you were raised, 2, your moral compass and your heart, and 3, the news and what was presented to you. So thank you. I want to say thank you for reflecting on what you thought about it because that's important and that's something called self-reflection that you should do often. Now, do you think no, I skipped one. When you heard about what was happening, how did it make you feel? In one word, what's an emotion that it made you feel? Shocked, unsafe, mad, anger, scared, dishonored, great word, shocked, unsafe, sad, unsafe, disappointed, also a great word. Okay, so yes, anytime there is violence that's provoked in any, okay, someone said upset yet intriguing. You want to know more. I could not take my eyes off of the news last night. I don't watch the news. I don't like the news. It makes me sad. But I couldn't stop watching it because I wanted to know more. So I understand that. The reason we're doing this is because it's important that if you aren't having these conversations, that you have practice with it, because they're a little uncomfortable. It's like, well, I know everyone in this room doesn't feel the same way as me or believe the same way. But that's okay. You need to practice these things. Hard conversations, you only get better at them by practicing. Someone says, I had to go on a walk after I saw all of this, and then my dad texted my mom asking if I was home safe. Okay, so next question. Do you think everyone felt the same about what happened? No, no, yes, but no, yes and no. No, in all caps. No, 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 no. Maybe almost. Okay. And lastly, what do you think this means for our country? And what I mean by that question is, what do you think the next steps for our country should be? Have more security and make the right choices. Oh, have more security and be more concerned. And then someone says, make the right choices. I think they should take more control and be careful about safety. Everyone should learn to respect one another rather than choosing violence. To have more protection. The next steps are unpredictable, but I fear the worst. And that, I mean, a possible civil war. I think that we should work on the situation not happening again, more safety precautions. Honestly, I don't know. I hope there isn't another civil war. Have way better security, like way better security. Change political decisions so people are safe. Information, they should give more information that is correct on future events. Okay, all of these are great insights. Think before you act. Very true. That's something that you learn when you're small, but it's easy to forget as you get older because the world becomes more gray rather than black and white. Okay. Thank you guys for 1, participating, and for 2, trusting me as your teacher enough to speak your truths and share your opinion. Because it doesn't, how do I say this? I try to be subjective as possible, meaning I try to not influence you with the way that I feel, because it's important that you create your own opinions. And to create a safe space in a classroom where you feel like you can always come to me, it's weird, or sometimes it gets weird if you know we have different opinions, because as a middle schooler or even as a younger adult, it's like, well, is she going to feel some type of way because we think differently? No, not at all. I just want to be clear right now. I do want to tell you that it is my responsibility to teach you important things. And regardless of if you are a Republican or if you are a Democrat, if you vote in support for Trump or you do not vote and you do not support Trump and you voted for Biden or someone else, which you can't vote, but you know probably who your parents vote for. Yesterday, by definition, was a domestic terrorist attack. So it's important that you know that, because yes, we have the right to protest and we have the right to speak up and to fight for what we believe in. But the minute you put someone else in danger to have a political movement, it becomes a domestic act of terrorism. So it's just, we have to learn these things, because like I said, The lines get blurred. People think they're doing the right thing, or maybe you show up and it ends up being wrong and you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. But like I said, thank you for having the conversation with me and for being brave enough to share how you feel. Now we can move on to ELA. And today is going to be very quick, and I'm going to quit talking after this because we are going to go over to our Google Doc and we're going to resume from where we left off. Now, you are going to practice today what we did together yesterday, meaning we read pages 1 through 3 and we annotated it all the way down. What you are going to do today is read page 3 through 5. That means read page 3, read page 4, and read page 5. And you are going to annotate it on your own. Now, let me be clear. There is not a right or wrong annotation. You annotate a paper by breaking it apart and making notes on what you feel is important. So when we meet tomorrow and I say, oh, okay, Alonzo, what is something that you annotated? He can tell me anything that he annotated and I would be like, okay, that's correct. Because he pulled it out. If I said, okay, Alicia, tell me something you found that was important. She could tell me something that she highlighted or she made a comment on. There's not a right or wrong. It's simply that you find a better understanding of what's happening in this short story. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through page 3, all the way through page 4, and all the way through page 5. That's 3 pages. And you're going to read it and mark it up as you go. So highlight it, annotate it, whatever you want to do. Underline something if you want. When you have finished 3, 4, and 5, you're going to let me know that you're done. In the chat, you'll say, Miss England, I'm done. And I'll tell you that you can leave. You're probably, some of you, not all of you, a lot of you will finish before class is over. That's fine. Let me know. If you do not finish before class is over, you got homework tonight. Because when we come back to class tomorrow, you should be ready to start on page 6. Okay, so stay on the Zoom. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and annotate through page 3 or 4, 5. Yeah, wait, which ones did we do? We did 3. So you need to do, no, we didn't. This is page 3. You need to do page 3, 4, and 5. Any questions? If you do have a question, I will be sitting here at my computer working so I can see it in the chat. Just send it and I'll let you know. When you finish, let me know and I'll tell you can leave. Don't leave the Zoom. Okay, go annotate your paper. 3, 4, 5.